This Bellator 180 interview was recorded on June 12th, 2017. Steve Chewin, MMA Mania.
Hey Phil, you're on with Steve from MMA Mania.
Mr. Wonderful, Phil Davis.
All
How
right.
are you doing today, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm very happy to be talking to you about this big fight you've got coming up, a rematch with Ryan Bader. But it's been a little while since we've seen you in the cage, so what have you been doing with the time off between now and then?
Oh man, I've been doing a little bit of everything. Hiking, training, and it's great. It's great when I have time to catch up with my family. When I'm fighting every 3 months, that means I have about a couple of weeks off, and then I'm back into fight camp. But when I have some downtime, it's great to catch up with your family. You have to be a little selfish when you're doing this sport, and it's great to be able to give that time back to my family.
So I guess you could say being champion has its privileges.
Oh yeah. But with great responsibility, I messed that up. I was going to say,
great power comes great responsibility, right? That's what you're saying. And I'm sure you're ready to show Bader that great power too inside the Bellator cage at Madison Square Garden.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. Don't be upset if I reuse that. All right.
No, I will not be at all. And I want to know because I went back and reread the article from the first time you guys fought, and MMA Mania had you scored the winner. Obviously, the judges didn't agree. Looking back on it now, what do you think with the perspective coming into the rematch?
What do I think about that fight? I try not to score and say, oh, well, you know what, I had me winning that fight, because at the end of the day, what's most important is that you acknowledge that you lost and that you are able to grow from that and say, hey, you didn't win and they said you lost. You lost, and you're going to make sure that you freaking win next time. And that's who I am, and that's my approach. It's not a matter of, trying to go back and relive a moment. Oh, they should have saw this. They should have saw that. Did they score this? Who cares now? What I care about is beating this guy's face up in 11 days.
Do you feel that in some respects, Ryan Bader basically followed in your footsteps? He saw the success you were having in Bellator and thought, maybe I should dive into those waters too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. He's going to have a lot of fun in Bellator as I did, but he's not going to have it in Madison Square Garden. that is the truth. He's going to love his Bellator experience starting, June 25th on.
Well, speaking of Madison Square Garden, since we keep referencing it here, how awesome is it that you're going to get to fight in this historic venue when the closest that you came before was Newark? Right.
Newark, New Jersey. I think I fought there, and I fought also in Bellator. Also fought in Baltimore. Both super close, but not quite in New York. And now we're there. I am super excited that New York State decided to change their legislation, allow MMA, and it's going to be a great event.
Speaking of which, it's a super stacked card, so much so that your fight's actually airing in the preliminary on Spike TV instead of on the pay-per-view card. And are you happy with that placement?
Oh, absolutely. The fan base at Spike TV is it's awesome. You have a great dedicated group of fans there. The Bellator pay-per-view is going to be great for Bellator, and they're going to build it up to it's a well-tuned machine. But I tell you what, Spike TV, there's nothing broken about that. It gets great eyes, great viewership, and we have a bunch of fans that love to tune in and watch us live and free on Spike TV. And no, I did not practice that; it just flows.
Well, not only does it flow, I'll give you another one since you said you might use some of what I said. You can say that if 2 million people tune in for that fight, that's 2 million people who are going to buy the pay-per-view. So you're just setting it up right now.
There you go. And that's kind of how it rolls. And when they see our fight, it's we're the main event on Spike TV, and that fight should leave them thirsty for more fights. And that's our goal. We're going to put on a great fight, and that won't be it. It's time to order the pay-per-view.
Now, originally, Bader was set to face King Mo before he pulled out with an injury, so What are your thoughts on ending up with this rematch and not the situation where Bader would get Mo in his Bellator debut?
I fought him last May and beat him then, and he got injured and he wasn't able to fight Ryan Bader. And me, I'm just a kind guy. If King Mo can't beat up Ryan Bader, hell, I'll fill in and beat him up. Don't worry. I got your back, bro. I got your back. I'm not gonna let him slide.
As you mentioned, you fought him before, and that was when he was trying to take away your top contender status. So when Bader does eventually get that chance, as you said, things won't be fun for him until after his fight with you. So do you think he's going to have fun with King Mo down the road?
Who is that, Ryan Bader? What do I think about that matchup? That's a tough fight. I think King Mo wins that fight. It's tough to say definitively because it all depends on whether Mo is on that night, but I think he has the better skill set.
Well, one thing that all three of you have in common is outstanding wrestling ability. So I know that a lot of people saw that going into your last fight with Bader, and what they haven't seen is the Phil Davis that became Bellator champion since then. If they're tuning in for the first time and not following Bellator, but they heard, hey, Phil Davis and Ryan Bader are having a rematch, they're going to get both that wrestling skill and the completely new skill set you've evolved since you came to Bellator.
Absolutely. And you know what I love about my fights in Bellator is that I have a good amount of time to heal up and prepare for each fight. So each time I step in the cage, I'm fresh, I'm ready, and I was able to really grow as a fighter in between fights, which is you don't always get that chance other places.
Well, hopefully Bader's had some time to grow too, because his last fight was November of last year, so we could be looking at a brand new Ryan Bader coming into this fight that we haven't seen before, that you haven't seen before.
You know what? I suspect we might. I can suspect we very well might see a completely different Ryan Bader, and either way, it only elevates my game. But I truthfully believe I'm in a different place where it won't matter who shows up.
What about Liam McGeary? We've seen him kind of fall on hard times since his fight with you. It seems like a lot of people feel that wrestling is his kryptonite now. They saw what you did, and we saw Linton Vassell copy that strategy pretty successfully too.
Oh man, that poor guy. Well, I don't know if I told a secret there, but that's kind of how things go sometimes. When you're willing to ignore certain parts of your game, guys are going to capitalize on that.
Do you think there is any chance, though, that he can correct that deficiency and work his way back to a rematch with you at some point?
Absolutely. I think he definitely has the opportunity to do that. He's a former champion, and in order to do that, you have to be mentally tough. You got to be mentally tough, and you have to be able to deal with adversity. So I think he can do that. It's just a matter of will he? Actually, it's not a could he do that? He absolutely he can do that. He's just got to put his nose down and work hard. He can get it done.
All right. Well, in the meantime, though, Linton Vassell is knocking on that door looking for you after the Bader fight. So win or lose, he's going to be there at the cage. He already promised that. So what do you have to say to Linton Vassell as he's looking for a chance to get in there and swarm on you?
Knock all he wants. I will open the door and kick him in the face. And then I'll throw him out the house like Jazzy Jeff on the Fresh Prince.
You'll just give him the old Uncle Phil. You'll pick him up and he'll go, ah, out the door.
I didn't even put that together, but I like that. I like what you did there. Yeah, Uncle Phil, I didn't even put that together. There you go. I like that.
Yeah.
That's two things I'm going to steal for you.
Well, please do, but let's give all the credit to James Avery, and may he rest in peace. One of my all-time favorite sitcom actors ever. And the voice of Shredder, too,
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact. People forget that, but he was also Shredder.
No way. Which one, in Secret of the Ooze?
No, way back originally in the cartoons.
Really?
Yeah, he was the voice of
No
Shredder.
way.
I shit you not, he was the voice of Shredder. Dead up.
That's so cool. I just found out that Vin Rames is the Arby's guy. We want the meat. So I really, I really don't have a good ear for whose voice. Uh, I can't place people, so that's pretty cool. I actually want to go back and research that now.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of fun to go back and watch those, knowing it's Uncle Phil. You just kind of picture him in your head when you hear the voice, and it's like, oh, snap, it gives you a whole new perspective on it. But I don't want to drag it away from Bellator too much, because I want fans to get a whole new perspective when they see you in the cage at Madison Square Garden on June 24th, and I want them to also know how to follow you on all forms of social media, and I know you're good at plugging.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You can follow me at PhilMRW on Instagram, at Phil Mr. Wonderful, and on Facebook and Twitter.
Indeed. Now, a few more questions and I'll wrap it up. Who's going to be cornering you for this fight?
I'll have my regular crew in there with me. I'll have Nick. Oh, great! I forget Nick's last name. Adrian Melendrez, Eric Del Fiero, and Nick Piedmont.
Excellent.
And another great find, Chris Hornbrook. So it's a winning team right there.
Well, it has been in the past, so there's no reason to change it, right?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody in your camp or in the team seen anything about Ryan Bader? I'm not saying give me any spoilers or give away any secrets, as we say before, secrets, but there's got to be some things you've seen looking at tape and you might go,
Not really. He's solid all the way around. He's top ranked in the world for a reason. But I mean, like anybody, if when given enough pressure, he'll break. So that's basically it.
And do you think the biggest part of that pressure is that it's going to be over the course of 5 rounds? Because we haven't seen him go 5 since Ovince St. Preux. He's not had the deep waters for a while.
My game plan is not to get him to the 5th round. But if he gets there, I feel like I do well in those late rounds.
Yeah, the cardio was definitely there. You were taking Liam down just as strongly in the 5th round as you were early in the fight, so he should know. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for the time today, and have a great fight on June 24th. We can't wait to see it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will see you soon.
All right, and thank you, Alex, as well.